The topic today is how to be highly effective, and we're focusing on solutions to our problems. Solutions to our problems usually come in form of ideas. To be precise, solution to a problem is ideas. So it is a matter of idea that is a solution. If you have ideas, that's the solutions to your problem. So you have idea, I have idea. John has idea, Helen has idea. So all of us, we have ideas. And that provides solution to our problems. But the problem we have is the expectation. Because we are expecting a different thing. No, we'll be given something, but we are expecting a different thing. It's expectation that destroys the solutions to our problems. You see, our problems are ideas. So ideas are very, very important. So you have it and I have it. So, but the problem is we don't seem to understand that. We focus on the wrong thing. No, we focus on the wrong thing. The wrong thing is we are focusing on money rather than ideas. Now, I'm giving up ideas, but some people are expecting money from me. But the ideas are already given to you. So the idea is the main thing. So if you got the idea, you've gotten all the money, you got everything you need. So our problem is that we keep on focusing on the wrong thing. Because we are focusing on the wrong thing because we don't want to do the work. If I give you money, but you don't know the work, it's useless. So the same way God applies everything. No, God cannot give you money. God gives you ideas. Now, if He gives you money and you don't have ideas, the money is going to be useless. In fact, the money will kill you. That is why intelligent people focus on ideas. They look out for ideas because ideas create money, creates everything. Now, the problem we have again is that instead of lighting up the candle, it will cause the darkness. You came into a room, the room was dark. What do you do? Wouldn't it be for you to turn on the light? So it's a matter of your capacity to turn on the light. If you come to a place there is no light in it, there is darkness, what do? You turn on the light. You don't focus on the darkness. Darkness means you are focusing on the wrong thing. People who want to travel do not focus. Like now, you want to jet off. You want to move out. You don't focus on the gravity. So our problem is that we keep on focusing on the wrong thing. The wrong thing is we are focusing on the negative things. So that is why I am saying today the solution to your problem is an idea. You got idea. The solutions are ideas. The idea everybody carries. The idea God has put into your head, has put inside your mind. These are the worth more than the money you are asking. So you see, there's a solution. You don't change the reality like that. You change the reality by building, another model. Let's say the model is darkness. That is what is, the reality you are seeing in your own area or whatever. You build up another model. Another model is light. So now we have two models, darkness and light. Obviously, the light will drive out the darkness. The same way it applies. So we keep on, criticizing people, criticizing the negative, wasting our energy on criticism. wasting our energy on jealousy and anger and bitterness instead of bringing up a solution. So a solution is more important than what we're criticizing. So Buckmaster said, look, I'm going to read it out. Buckmaster said this, that you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. You see, the model that is existing, let's say, is not the right one. Now, instead of wasting time to criticize this wrong one, you build up a new model. That new model will overshadow the old model. It makes the old model obsolete. So why do you focus on criticism? Why do you focus on the negative thing? For instance, we focus on racism instead of building up our businesses, instead of building up our cities, instead of building up our life, instead of building up what we are supposed to do. We are spending time on the social media and elsewhere focusing on the negatives, focusing on criticism, focusing on racism, focusing on all the negative things. All these negative things are classified as darkness. Now, for instance, when God decided to create the world, the first thing that came up was darkness. Did God focus on the darkness? No. God focused on bringing up the light. So, because whatever you are focusing on expands. If you are focusing on darkness in form of race, criticism, tribalism, hatred, jealousy, they keep on multiplying. And then they distract you, and that is what you're seeing. So what you're supposed to do is you start building up something to counter it. Building up cities, building up writings, building up things that can give life to people. Instead of spending time demonstrating, spending time talking about racism. Because these things you're talking comes to nothing. They are delusion, they are elusive. So we spend time talking about things that are elusive, some things you cannot hold on, things that are not true, things that are not, you can't really touch them. A figment of imagination, because they don't exist. Colors, keep on asking about color. You cannot get, they don't exist. Black, white. These things are rubbish. They don't exist. It's like pursuing a shadow. So what we spend our time is pursuing a shadow, going after the shadow. And instead of building up our businesses, instead of building up our houses, instead of building up the things. Like I said, if you come up where there is darkness, let's say there is criticism, there is hatred, there is jealousy. Why do you focus on jealousy instead of focusing on positive things? And that is where our problem lies. The solution to our problems are ideas. The ideas are important. So I can't see anybody who hasn't got an idea in his mind. We have ideas in our brain. Why can't we use it? So the problem is that we keep on focusing on the wrong thing. Focusing on Trump, focusing on racism, focusing on the Black Lives Matter, focusing. These things are they don't count. What counts is the institutions you are building, the positive things you are building, the structures you are putting in place. These things are what we're supposed to do. You don't cause the darkness. You light up the candle. Because it is useless to cause darkness when you can light candle. What is saying that it is useless to spend your time criticizing people when you can do a positive thing. That is a solution to a problem. That's as easy as it is. So the key thing I'm trying to let you know today is we need to change the model of, fighting existing reality instead of building up a new model. You cannot win through that mechanism. You can't win through that, agenda, or through that using that strategy. You don't focus on the negative. So the problem is that we keep on focusing on the negative. We forgot that we got ideas. And ideas normally come from our mind. So, and ideas are very, very important, because now you need to understand, now you have those ideas. The idea comes from the Holy Spirit inside of you, because it's the one that gives you the idea. You can have the idea, but you haven't got the will to execute it. So as I'm moving out from now the idea, which is a solution to a problem, I'm now moving to how do you convert this idea into reality. First and foremost, you have to understand the idea you have in your mind. And how do you understand it? Through the understanding of the Holy Spirit inside of you. Because without this understanding, you cannot execute it. We have people that have knowledge. They are knowledgeable people, intelligent people. But when it comes to idea, they don't understand it, they cannot apply it. Why do we not apply it? Because we don't have the spirit. We don't have the leadership spirit. That's why people are always talking about leadership spirit. We don't have the leadership spirit. And that is why we go onto the leeway. The leeway is to demonstrate. The leeway is to talk about racism. The leeway is to talk about jealousy, anger, and bitterness. Because you can't hold on to these things. So I'm here to tell you, the basic thing in life is ideas. Use the idea God has put inside your mind. Ask God to give you the Holy Spirit to understand them. Because without that, you cannot convert it. Millions of people have ideas, but they can't convert it. Because ideas only come from the Holy Spirit. I'm talking about the positive ideas. So, having got this knowledge, then you got to apply it. So, the confidence normally comes from the knowledge you already have. For instance, like we use seed to explain it. If you have a seed, inside that seed, we have a tree and the fruits inside it. That means it's complete. That is the knowledge you already have. So as I'm talking to you now, you are complete. You are whole. You are unique. You don't need anybody again to make you who you are. So what matters is this confidence, the knowledge. This knowledge gives you the confidence. Like now, if I want to be a professor, before I was born, I am already a professor. If I want to be a president, before I am born, I'm already a president. That is a knowledge. And with this knowledge, you have confidence. And this knowledge will help you to have clarity. Because you got the knowledge that exists in your mind, clarity, the direction you are going. Because most of the problem we have is that we don't have clarity. Now, from idea to knowledge, to the Holy Spirit, to the knowledge, and then to clarity. See, when you have clarity, that means you are focused. You know the direction you are going. And if you know it, then you walk towards it. So clarity gives you the grip. You see, if you want to walk now, you stand up. For you to stand up, you got to have a grip. So for you to execute this kind of vision idea, you got to have a grip. So that grip will give you, the direction you're going. So you become unshakable in the direction. The problem with the second problem we normally have is that we are not consistent. We don't show that clarity in what we're doing. We don't show the grip, the firm grip on something we already know. Now, you got idea that before you were born, you are already a particular thing. Let's say you're a prime minister, a president, or you are an engineer, or this. This is a knowledge. And this knowledge, you got to have a grip on it. You know, that means you have to develop clarity. And once this clarity is there, then you start working. Then with this knowledge, you maintain a particular focus because you got knowledge. So because you got knowledge, the vision helps you, brings out the clarity. And once there is clarity, because you need clarity, because if you don't have clarity, you're gonna have doubts. You know, the doubt might destroy the vision you have. The doubt might destroy the idea you have. The doubt might bring fear. The doubt might make you go astray, start going to another direction. So now you have the clarity. Now you have the grip. You proceed. Because you're already what you are. So because you have confidence in what you're doing, you are no longer subject to manipulation. You are no longer subject to criticisms people level on you. You are no longer subject to maneuver and all manners of manipulations and other things that come across. Because you have this clarity, because you understand these things, now you will keep on walking till you get to where you want to go. And you become successful. So the confidence comes from the knowledge. Knowledge that you are complete. Knowledge that you've achieved whatever you're thinking. If I want to be, let's say, a professor, now I'm already a professor, I start working towards it. First of all, I have to understand that I'm a professor in a particular area. I have to understand, like, look at who I am. So, because I know this knowledge, I start moving. You see, and when you start moving, or you got an idea about, let's say you want to build something, let's say you want to build a new technology or whatever you want to build, you got the knowledge about it, you got the knowledge you have to build it, it's already inside of you, you continue to do it. Under rain, under sunshine, you keep on doing the same thing till you arrive to your destination because you have knowledge. So when you have this knowledge, it gives you confidence. And once you have confidence, you are no longer going to be afraid of anybody. You are no longer going to be afraid of anything. Because you know where you're going. Because you know already you're complete. You know that you don't need all these people you're talking about. You need people, but not the wrong ones. The right ones will come. So that is how to bring a solution to your life, solution to your problems. Because you got an idea and you got the Holy Spirit inside of you that explains these things to you. Now you can execute it. A lot of us have the idea, but they haven't got the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the one that will give you understanding so that you can have clarity, so that you can have a grip, so that you can walk, so that you can convert it into what you want to do. And once you have this, you talk with confidence. Because you know you possess everything. You are complete. Even if the world is going up and down, you're not afraid because you already know that is who you are. Now, because you have this confidence, you are not causing the darkness anymore. Because you have this confidence, you are not fighting the existing reality because you are building up a model that will counter that existing reality, that will trash it, that will make it obsolete. That is the way to do it. So we have to focus on where we are going rather than focusing on issues like racism, issues like race, issues like tribe, issues, all these things are nonsense. Because keep on, try to have philosophy around it. Try to have a kind of thinking about it. It comes to nothing. You can spend all your day, one day, arguing about racism. You will never bring a solution because it is a lie. It doesn't exist. It is fictitious. It is fictitious. It's a fiction. Somebody brought in and then put it into our mind and then be distracting us. So because of race, you can pull out your gun and go and kill somebody. Something that is fake, that doesn't exist. Because of anger, it doesn't exist. So these things are, if you are walking in spirit, you will understand this thing I'm talking. Because you have confidence. Because why do you have confidence? Because you are already what you are. Look at this thing, for instance. The knowledge, the confidence comes from God. And how does God develop his confidence? Because God, before he creates something, he has completed it. He has worked it. He has, executed it complete before he comes back to create it. So he knows the end. So the same way applies to you. You already know your end. So you are not going to entertain doubt anymore. You are not going to allow naysayers to distract you. You're not going to allow critics to distract you. You're not going to allow people who don't have the same views to distract you. Sometimes you might have a contrary view coming around you. Because you know where you're going, you don't waste time arguing about it. Because the more you are wasting your time arguing about these things, you are losing energy. And if you're not careful, that idea could be stolen away from your mind. And if the idea is stolen away from your mind, you become empty and become useless. And then they start laughing at you. Look at a man who started a house and never completed it. Look at a man who had a dream and never achieved it. But you forgot that they were the ones that distracted you and stole the idea from your mind because you chose that direction. So life in itself is a choice. So it's either we choose to execute and live a life full of freedom, or we deviate and be servant and slave to other people. Why do you become a servant and slave? Because you focus on the wrong thing. You are causing the darkness. You are not lighting up the candle. The story of a good Samaritan illustrates that again. When the good Samaritan met that man that was bruised and was, attacked by robbers, did the good Samaritan start cursing the robbers? No. Did the good Samaritan, go there? Did the good Samaritan start wondering, who beat this man? Who bruised him? Who stood him? No. He moved on straight, brought solution to the problem. So if you want to solve anything, you go straight and solve it. There's no need focusing on, if the good Samaritan had focused on the robbers, the thieves, the criminals that did that thing, he would solve it. So the same thing applies to me and you. I was talking about about how to achieve a vision last video. A young man went to his uncle's place. That's his maternal home. The maternal home was a farmer. The maternal home uses a tractor. The guy had learned how to use a tractor, but the one for burrowing the ground, the guy hasn't learned it. So one of the days, the uncle was to teach him how to create a ridge in a farm. The uncle told him, look, you got to look at each ridge has to be 2 inches apart, or let's say it has to be 2 meters apart. Now, so when the uncle asked the young man to do as he has taught him. The young man focused on the 2 meters apart and lost sight of the direction he was going. And in the end, he brought things that were, were lackluster, that were not the right bridge, the right burrow, or the right ridge supposed to create. So the uncle sat him down and told him, look at this. Yes, I told you that you have to keep 2 meters apart. I'm not saying that it's where you're supposed to focus. Where you're supposed to focus is on the end. There is a post at the end which you are looking at. Focus on that. So the guy took up the lesson from the uncle. This time around, he focused on the post at the end instead of focusing on the 2 meters in between the bridge, and he got it. So the same thing applies to us. So it depends on what we are focusing. If you are focusing on the existing model, you are not driving the right direction. You have to focus on the one you are bringing. Like Buckmaster said, you don't fight the existing reality. Bring up your own model. Put it side by side with the existing one. The new one you've created will make the old one obsolete. So we are not supposed to be focusing on racism. We are supposed to be focusing on building our economy, building our own industries, building our own houses, building these businesses. But are we doing that? No. Because it is easier to focus on the wrong things. And that is what we are focusing on all the time. So the main thing is we got to know what we are supposed to focus on. We got to know that a solution to our problem is an idea. You got an idea, develop it. Don't allow these things to distract you. Because these things that are distracting you are not existing. They are not reality. Sometimes St. Paul will tell you, walk in spirit. Because if you walk in spirit, these things will not pull you down. In fact, the obstacles, gives you direction to go, helps you to get what you want to do. So fighting them and making a mess of yourself on it, it doesn't make any sense. What makes sense is you focusing on what you already heading to achieve. Let's say you want to be like this. You want to be a pilot. Focus on being that a pilot instead of what people say along the way. Instead of the challenges you face. Maybe the teacher that taught you said you won't be able to do it. And then you focus on that instead of focusing on the direction you're going. And that is what most of us do. What we are focusing on, jealousy, racism, hatred, what my brother told me, what my uncle told me, what my wife told me, all these things are the existing realities, which has model A. And now your own model, which is model B, you bring it up. You should focus on your own model, which is B. Leave model A, which comprises of the wrong things, the negative things. Focus on your own model. And that's your own model, gives you the direction you're going, gives you the confidence. The confidence you should have is that you are already complete. The confidence you should have is you are already, made up. You got to be courageous. You got to expunge the doubts you have, because the more you have the doubts, the more you get into trouble. That means you didn't have the clarity. So to solve a problem is to focus on the idea. Don't focus on, I remember when we used to pursue right or rabbit in the hole, sometimes you meet a wrong track. Don't follow the wrong track. Follow the right track. By the time when you look at it, you see the difference between the wrong one and the right one. You focus on the right one. Because if you're focusing on the wrong track, you find out that there's nothing inside that, then the track disappears. The same way, if you're focusing on the wrong model of criticism, the wrong model of hatred, the wrong model of racism, tribalism, the wrong model of religious problems, all these things, if you focus on them, you're not going to solve any problem. And that is what we are focusing on. So that's why I'm saying today, solutions to our problem is idea. What ideas do you have? If you have an idea, start believing in it. Start executing it. Because an idea gives you the direction we're going. You know, most problem is that because of wrong expectation, we don't make use of our ideas. The ideas will be in front of us, you know, but we can't believe it. Like now, I do tell my people, say, look, now I'm not gonna give you money, but I will give you something more than money. What I'm talking to you now was billions. And that is it. So if you're expecting money, that's a wrong expectation. Because money does not solve anybody's problem. What solves problem is idea. Because if I give you money, you eat it and that's finished. And then you use it on a wrong thing. So look at now, for instance, now, when Christ came. In fact, from the history of the world, they knew that Christ was coming. The Jews knew that Christ was coming. Now, but the expectation was that Christ will come to kill Caesar, you know, to kill all their enemies, to destroy and maim things, to become a giant and the leader of this. Now, when Christ came in a different direction. So that's why today they don't believe that Christ came, because Christ came and brought in idea. So Christ didn't come and bring in dollars and pounds and all these things, because their expectations were that the person will come like a soldier, armed up, coming to kill and destroy the enemy. So the same way, because we are thinking that solution to our problem will come with money, in form of money, but it comes in form of ideas. Now look at this. These people, their expectation was that Christ was going to come like a soldier, armed, an emperor who will come and destroy these things. Then compare it with your own expectation. Your expectation that somebody's gonna give you money. You see, now that person came with ideas. You ignore the ideas because your expectation was out of money. So the Jews ignored Christ because their expectation was that, you know, a soldier, a leader, or not even a leader, a ruler will come that will destroy Caesar, destroy the empire, and this. That was a wrong misconception. That was the wrong thing. And because that was what they focused on, they couldn't change their life. Even though they have it. Now, most people, they are expecting God to give them money. But God has given you idea. So you are complete. You got the idea. The idea is inside your head. The idea is inside your mind. The idea is, for one instance, the idea is that whatever you are dreaming about, you've already achieved it. What you need to do is to work towards it. Is what you need to do. Focus on it. Have a perfect focus on it and keep on driving it to get it there. So, and that gives you the confidence, because the knowledge that you already made, you know, stops people from harassing you. It stops people from manipulating you or distracting you, because you have clarity. So I'm going to start winding down. Solutions to our problems are ideas. And ideas, you already possess it. Solutions to a problem are not money. their ideas. So now I am giving you idea, but you want dollar and pounds and this. That is wrong. You're not gonna get it, because that is not how life operates. That is not the recipe for life. The recipe for life is idea. So you got idea, germinate it, use it, and better yourself. That is simply the solution. Thank you.